Mr. Godrej, first words, positive on some parts in the business that you are in, definitely good for the business that you are in currently, but overall, we would like your sense.
I think overall it's an excellent budget. I think he has addressed two very important issues very well, generally speaking. One is on investment and the second is on GDP growth. I think the various steps he has taken to improve ease of doing business will be very welcome. I think some steps that he has announced, for example, that Manrega will be productivity oriented, the steps he has announced in allowing 49% FDI in defense and insurance is very good. The taxation changes for FIIs will help bring in more FIIs into the stock market. So overall, I feel the steps he has taken, including the steps on indirect taxes for many industries, will help many businesses. I know some of our businesses will certainly find that some of the difficulties we face with both the import duty structure as well as the excise structure have been corrected. So I feel overall it's an excellent budget, and I think it will be followed up by various action points which are not budget related to further help. So I think it will raise the confidence level, the perception of India outside, and the GDP growth going forward.
So do you think that the budget as an event is increasingly becoming less and less important, and do you think that this government is going to take a lot of action as it goes along through the year and does not necessarily have to come in that particular finance bill?
Yeah, unfortunately in India the budget is an important exercise, especially the first budget of a new government always is. And I think this one has addressed that reasonably well. Of course, the new government had only only a few weeks to get this budget done. But I think they've done a good job, and I hope they'll follow it up.
Mr. Godrej, if I had to ask you to compare what we saw from Mr. Chidambaram last year and also the interim budget, because the numbers between what Mr. Chidambaram presented in February in the interim budget and the numbers here, they're almost exactly the same. So what is the significant key difference you're seeing between what the UPA did and what, at least in the last 2 years, and what we're seeing from the Modi government?
Well, the various steps on ease of doing business are much better here. For example, the direction in terms of FDI, Manrega being only productivity oriented, the investment allowance limit has been brought down from 100 crore investment to 25 crore. All these are, to my mind, very positive. And I think generally the feeling that this government is growth oriented, is reform oriented, generally helps the perception.
Mr. Godrej, hi. Good afternoon, sir. Prashant here. Hi. So I just want to specifically, you're in the real estate segment as well. For REITs, there is now clarity. There's pass-through of taxes. What can it do, sir, in terms of being able to raise resources for the sector? How significant can it be?
It will be significant for people who have commercial properties that they lease out. Not all real estate businesses do that. Some do and some don't. So I think it could be significant. But unfortunately, from what I read, of course, I have not got expert opinion yet. The pass-through of taxes is only partial. And I think we need to look into that. Perhaps if there are some issues, they have to be taken up before the budget is passed. There are some issues which also further need to be taken up in this budget. For example, the investment allowance at 25 crores investment is a very good move. However, we must understand that it won't have its full positive effect if the MAT rate is kept at the high 22% it is today, because many companies will find that even though their investment will give them very good investment allowance, they'll still have to pay taxes because they'll be hit by the minimum alternate tax. So I think the government will need to review the minimum alternate tax before the budget is passed for the investment allowance to have its full positive effect.
What about proposal to ease FDI norms for the sector? So area requirement in terms of built up has been brought down to about 20,000 square meters. It was earlier 50,000 square meters. Minimum capitalization has been brought down to $5 million from $10 million for wholly owned subsidiaries.
Yeah, I think that those will be very good. And I think also the proposals on affordable housing are very good.
Right.
And obviously we will expect some more proposals in the real estate sector in the days to come, because they have to build these 100 cities at the outskirts of the major metropolitan areas. So all these I expect will be very good for the real estate sector. But the most important thing for the real estate sector is a revival of GDP growth. That's the single most important factor for the revival of the real estate sector.
How do you think this push for affordable housing is going to happen? Do you think it's going to happen through NB? I think money has been allocated for NHB, right? For I think 4,000 crores or so. So probably by extending cheaper credit, etc., for affordable housing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I think that's the best way to encourage affordable housing. Of course, some tax benefits need to be given for the people who build the affordable housing too, but financing of affordable housing should be easily available and at rates with a good amount of subvention.
Mr. Godrej, thanks very much, sir. Great to have you with us here.